Hello guys, and welcome to another day on Mazda RX-8 channel. My name is Serge and I got a question for you. Is your Mazda RX-8 misfiring, perhaps cylinder 1, cylinder 2? There's no other cylinders out there. But there is 4 ignition coils. And this is a Mazda RX-8 ignition coil. This is a no-brander. This is something I picked up for very cheap, under $40 for 4 of them on eBay. Do I expect them to be awesome? I don't. But I'm very curious, just like you guys, do they even work? Can I install something like this in my Mazda RX-8 and it actually is going to work? Well, let's find out. I don't have nothing to lose because my Mazda RX-8 right now has a misfiring cylinder number 1. So by me installing this, hopefully it's going to correct itself. Now, at this point, I'm not really concerned with using an aftermarket Chinese part like this, because I have other issues. So I want to resolve them first, and then we could get into some very nice, maybe NGK ignition coils, even though I heard they suck from some people. You know, everybody has their own opinion. So if they suck, then these probably suck even more. But as you can see, no name brand, so it's not like you could just get bad advice and get this, because you don't even know what this is. I don't. But anyways, guys, Mazda RX-8s have a lot of issues. This is one of them, and of course this is going to cause a misfire. It might even cause your vehicle not to start. But I believe the starting issue that I do have, it is a crankshaft position sensor, which is going to be for another video. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit a bell notification. Now, I'm going to go ahead and try to show you exactly how to replace this. So let's get started. Guys, the ignition coils are located right next to this throttle body right here, right underneath this piece of pipe right here. So what we need to do first is go ahead and actually remove the air box, then remove this pipe for the throttle body, and then we're going to have access to everything. Now, one note that I would like to tell you guys, there is 3 pipes that come into your Mazda RX-8 airbox hose here. Make sure you mark them with a paint marker, preferably like different colors. That way you could actually put them back exactly the same way. Now, I got this one marked pink. Somebody before me marked it as well, but I believe that's a manufacturer mark. Then I marked this one yellow, and the other one's not marked because it's really not necessary. One thing to note, guys, these plastic pieces, they're very brittle, and a lot of times these pipes, they're very brittle. So be mindful of that and try not to break anything. It's very possible that you will. One of mine here got replaced. I replaced it myself with my brother. One of these connectors, because they're plastic, it was just broken. It was just broken on mine. We didn't break it, but it was already broken. So we went ahead and actually resolved it. So anyways, let's pull the airbox off and get started. All right, guys, are you ready? Let's begin. So the very first thing I'm going to remove is this little screw bolt right here. You don't need to remove it that much. I'm also going to loosen this one up. Okay. This one's loose. I'm going to loosen up just a little bit more. Okay. All right, so we're going to unplug the mass airflow sensor, which is right here. Just going to leave it be right here. And we need to unlock this airbox. This can be a little bit tricky, so make sure you wear your gloves, because the way this box inserts, it's kind of like you have to pull it like towards the top like this to get it released. I've seen everybody do it all these different ways. But technically, you don't even need to open this up. You know, the whole thing just comes out. So there's that. It just comes out as one piece. Already I'm kind of like noticing there's like a slight problem. Look at this. When I roll this around, I'm hearing like nuts and whatnot. So I believe I have a rodent issue that wasn't there before, and this kind of, you know, came after I came into possession of it. So anyways, the rodent obviously did not make it to the engine. The good thing is there's this nut little piece over here. We do have a problem though. Some oil is making inside of my air filter, and I'm gonna need to add an oil cooler. I already bought one, not in this video though. So let's take a look at what's inside here. What kind of presents that the rodent gave me. So obviously a year worth of supply of nuts. So if you're not checking your air box, I recommend, I guess, checking it, because there's a pretty big opening for rodents to get in right there. So yeah. So take a look at my hands, and this is basically coming from my hands coming in contact with this stuff. It's kind of like a oily substance. As you notice, it's kind of like in this area right here where actually it takes in air. And I will show you where these Mazda RX-8s will leak oil if you overfill them just a little bit. So as you could see, this is kind of wet with oil. I mean, you could kind of see some of it kind of, it's like right there, you know. So I'm going to create a oil catch can to catch that oil. Not gonna do it just yet, but I do want to show you that problem. Also, because I had a rodent, you do want to make sure to check for any kind of damage to your wiring and stuff like that. Now this is the one I had to fix right here. As you can see now, it's a metal one. And these two are still original plastic. It's just these things are very, very brittle. So be mindful of that. So now we're gonna go ahead and actually try to pull this off. I did already disconnect it. So we're just gonna slip it off. And there it is. There's the ignition coils. So if you don't want to disconnect these, it is fine, but there is a slight chance of breaking them. So I'm going to go ahead and actually pull them out. What you can do is twist these things out of here, but these things are you know, very brittle, so I would be very, very careful if I were you. So I'm just leaving them in there. So here we have the ignition coils. Let me see if that's in view. It sure is. That is them right there. So these particular ignition coils are not numbered. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to number them. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to mark this one 1. We're going to put like 2 marks on this one. So that's like leading and trailing. And again, we're going to put 1. And then we're going to put 1, 2. And basically that's about it. Now for the ignition coils, I'll be replacing them, so I'm not going to be really marking them. But what I will do is I will mark my outlets. So these two are going to be purple. These two are going to be white. So this is just so you don't mess them up. I already ordered myself some NGK spark plug wires, so they're going to be much better than those. So guys, just in case you don't know, here's what I'm gonna say, that this is leading 1, trailing 1, leading 2, trailing 2. The reason I put 1, 2, so we kind of know like that this is for the 1, that's for the 2, that is for the 1, that's for the 2. You know, kind of like that, to make a little bit less confusion. But it's okay. If you made a mistake, these 2 go for cylinder 1, those go for cylinder 2. Now, the leading means lower. This trailing means it's the top one. So this is the top spark plug hole. This is the bottom spark plug hole. This is the bottom spark plug hole, and that is the top spark plug hole. So now that we have that out of the way, which was important, let's go ahead and actually pull spark plug wires out. So we got that one out, and now the other one's out. I'm curious to know what brand of ignition coils are these. So we got that one out. By the way, guys, I'll be making a spark plug replacement video as well, because it's important to know with the leading and trailing spark plugs where they go. That can be definitely confusing. So now every single one of them is being held by 10mm plug. I guess the next step is not to get these wires confused. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna add one more line to that one, and we're gonna add one more line to this one. That way, two lines, they're gonna be matching. You know, you wanna make sure to be safe than sorry. It's always the better option. Gotta be safe than sorry. I don't like how some of these wires go here. Let me see it. Maybe I could reroute that one and do this, because there's just a way in the top there. So look at that. That is much cleaner. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull that out. Now the other one's gonna be just a little bit more tricky. But it's not difficult, it's just, you know, you can't really put your finger there. It's not a lot of room. Now, how should I do this? Okay. Yeah, as you can see, that is very close, so it might be ideal to undo the bolts, and when you actually install them, make sure they're all plugged in, because from based, you know, what I could see, some of them you're not going to be able to unplug because they're so close. But those I can. It's just this. You know, I'm going to customize it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I have any room to do it, but my plan is to bend this out of the way. I don't know if I done that trick or not, but it's almost. Here we go. So now I might actually be able to unplug it. Not that much more room, but a lot more room than I had. You know, I actually would like this to go behind. I don't know like why it's that in the front. It seems like that would be an ideal place for it. So let me see something. Well, there's this bracket here. Almost seems like this hasn't been replaced in a while, these ignition coils. First of all, they're kind of tight to be ignition coil tightness. I mean, people do tighten stuff, but sometimes not as tight. Let's make this a little bit easier. I really am not a fan of that wire being there. So, anyways, now for the moment of truth. What brand is this? Okay, so we do have some part numbers right here. N3H1 18100B, AIC 1355, 1802. Now, I don't know what original's supposed to look like. I mean, they do look okay, like, I mean, on the inside and stuff. That says 1.3. Let's compare them. Now, looking at this, it doesn't have any numbers on my aftermarket. Compare that side, no numbers either. I mean, the inside looks very similar. The shapes are kind of similar. It doesn't really matter, but I could tell definitely with the corrosion stuff on the inside that these been in there for a while. So here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna mark this a 1. And as I pull them out, I will mark them one by one. Because initially, you know, what if I want to test them eventually? And or I might need a spare. At least I will know which one of those is misfiring if I have to ever end up using it. So we will see. So for that purposes, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh yeah, let's see. So that's not gonna fall through. So that's a 2. So that is a 2. Okay, let's do the next one. That is a 3. Man, they really seem like they've been in here for a long time. Let's see. didn't want to drop that one. So I'm gonna put 4. All right. So now we just have to replace them all. All right, guys, are you ready? So we're gonna start with the back, the one at the furthest side. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and install it like this. I'm going to go ahead and actually plug it in. So that is in. And now I'm going to install the nut. Because at this point that wire is just in my way. So there it is. So now I'm going to get it tight. You don't have to go overkill on that. Okay, now I'm going to go to the third one. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Here's that little tap. And we're going to put the wire of the 10mm nut back on. You always want to do threading by hand at first, because sometimes the threads, they don't go quite right, and then you will end up stripping the threads. So now I'm going to go ahead and actually install this one, which is the number 2. I'm going to plug it in. Put it in the appropriate hole. Put the 10mm nut back on. Okay, it's going good. Purple. Let me see here. I mean, I don't know if they're all the way on, like it feels like they are, but I think, let's see. Okay. So now, I'm going to put the number 2 back on. They were so hard to pull off, like, but if you install them, it's so easy. It seems like you gotta force them on there, but you really don't. Alright, so that's kind of on. That is good. You could just put that back on. It seems like my throttle body is not sticking, which is good. Wasn't thinking that it should stick. So guys, I'm not gonna bore you with installing everything else back because it's just a reverse of this assembly. What I want to do next is check my contacts. for my power steering, and that's going to be in a different video. All right, you ready? Okay, let's do it. Okay. Whew. Oh my God! It started, guys. The RPMs are at 2,000 and they're slowly dropping. I don't know if this is too soon to say, but this sounds smooth. Like, this sounds like very smooth idle. The steering wheel icon is still on. I did actually clean the contacts today with electric contact cleaner. I dried them out and I added electric grease to them, you know. Alright, so it kind of self-idled to 1,500 RPM. I guess that's a warming up because it hasn't even started for a while. But boy, is this exciting. I really hope that the problem is resolved. Because guys, I thought this engine was a goner. I already started considering how I'm gonna rebuild it. I had comments in the comment section, anything from LS swap it to K swap it. I looked into both of those swaps. They both look interesting. None of them are cheap. So I really hope I don't have to do this swap, okay? I'm really hoping that I'll get my Mazda RX-8 working properly as it should. Now, I do need to replace radiator fluid and oil change, which obviously you want to do that after you know there's nothing wrong with an engine. So first I need to drive it and see where we're at. But anyways, guys, let's leave this on the positive
Guys,
note.
I don't know if my Mazda RX-8 is going to be dead or alive, but it's already warmed up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and actually just shoot some fireworks here, shoot some flames, see if I can.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. And just like that, that video is over. Guys, if this was helpful to you, consider subscribing. Also hit a like in this video. It doesn't cost anything. The whole idea of this channel is to share information with other Mazda RX-8 owners. So if you guys have any of your friends or social media, please share these videos on social media. That way, the very few RX-8 owners that do exist can get the help that they deserve when it comes to working on the Mazda RX-8. Guys, please support the channel by subscribing. That is all. Hit the like button and see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.